Alright guys, alright and all that. Big taste test, ASDA Classic versus ASDA Just Essentials. With special guest Bramwells from Aldi. Here's the vital stats. Classic coming in at 13.6p per 100 grams. Just Essentials coming in at 7.9p per 100 grams. Aldi Bramwells 10p per 100 grams. I was going to make it about these two, but I managed to source an Aldi Bramwells, so I've thrown that in as an added bonus. ASDA Classic. Aldi Bramwells. Let the taste test begin. I'm mimicking how you would eat it. Yeah, it seems alright to me. Feels sugar-like. Yeah, that one feels like it's got a bit more tomato in it. Aldi, oh Aldi. Yeah, that's got a bit more tomato. I think that one's not got as much tomato as the other two. It's still okay though. I mean, you might not even notice it. Maybe you'll only notice it if you tend to eat bottles of tomato sauce on their own. Ingredients, let's explore. This is ASDA Classic. ASDA Just Essentials. Aldi. Well, I can see the ASDA Classic has got more tomatoes in it. 148 grams per 100 grams of ketchup. I don't understand what that means. How can it be more than 100 grams? 148 grams. I don't know. Sugar, how much? Salt. Cayenne pepper and garlic powder. One thing I've noticed recently is sometimes I get passata, and I could drink passata easily as a drink, tomato drink. I probably prefer it to tomato juice that you buy. I'm just looking at sugars here. 20 grams, 20%. Just Essentials, a lot cheaper of course. 116 grams per 100 grams. Well, I could definitely taste it, didn't have as much tomato. Probably everything else is the same. Yeah, it does. Yeah. What's the sugars? 21 grams of sugars. So they've maybe pumped up the sugar a wee bit. Just slightly. Yeah. Special guest Bramwells. 148 grams of tomato per 100 grams. Yeah, I mean at first glance it did taste almost the exact same as the Classic, but I see it's got beetroot there, which the other one didn't have. It's got spice and garlic powder, so maybe there's a few more flavourings in there, a few more spices. And the sugar, let's see, per 100 grams sugars, 21.1 gram, 21.1%. Is texture and look of any importance to you? This is the Just Essentials ASDA. Yeah, it looks a bit not so rich. Yeah, this is a Classic ASDA. It's a bit bulkier, heavier, nicer red colour maybe. And then you've got the Aldi one. I think that's like the same as the Classic. It's just sort of bulkier, more red, richer in tomato, I guess. I've been nibbling them for 5 minutes. I put the amount of tomatoes on them per 100 grams for your help. And okay, Final decisions. Well, this one's definitely the least on taste. I'd say it's more sugar dominant. I suppose it's just because I've not put as many tomatoes in it. I understand the tomatoes thing now, 140 grams per 100 grams. It's because the tomatoes are using it for you could even call it a puree, I suppose. They're calling it ketchup. But what is ketchup and puree? What's the difference? It's the same thing. So you have to use more tomatoes to get the sort of juice out, the puree stuff. Or the ketchup as they're calling it. As they're calling it and everybody else is calling it too. But anyway, so with this one 116 grams of tomatoes, definitely on taste, well tomato taste anyway, it's not as strong. But it's still alright, I mean it's bearable. When you put it in food, do you notice these things? I don't know, maybe you do, but I would say it's more sugar dominant, you know, it feels more like sugar with tomatoes rather than tomatoes with sugar. But it's definitely bearable and it's okay. I mean, if a chip shop used it, I probably wouldn't notice really. With these two, it's a lot harder to tell the difference. They've both got the same amount of tomatoes used in them for their ketchup. The Aldi one had beetroot in it. And I noticed Bramwells, that's an old brand. I wonder if they just bought it or if it actually is a separate brand and still independent from Aldi. But I get the feeling it's a sort of Aldi brand now. Maybe they've done a sort of Sports Direct thing where they buy over old brands, you know. Whether they still have their own factory and that, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, these were both decent, you know. That one's 65p, that one's 75p, but that one's 13.6 per 100 grams, that one's 10p per 100 grams. So if you're just going in taste, maybe, I don't know, whatever you decide, it's up to you. With this one, you're taking a dip in taste, tomato taste anyway, but it's still okay. I mean, I couldn't give it a mark because I think it'd be unfair to say, you know, it's 51% out of 100, because I don't think you can judge it that way for what you're doing with it. I mean, you're putting it in other things, so you might not even notice. But yeah, these ones have got more tomato and all that in them. You can definitely tell. I think I just prefer that one, only just, but they're both good, these two. I mean, you're talking about, I'm giving them 90% enjoyment or whatever. I suppose I'll give this one a rating, say 60%, you know. But like I say, it's more just because it's got less tomatoes in it, it's really okay. I like brown sauce, but when I use it all the time, it seems to hurt my tongue and my mouth and my throat and that, so I must be reacting to something in it, you know. Probably it's just a bit too harsh for me. I don't think it's an immune reaction, but brown sauce is off the menu for me, which is a pity because I liked it. This is the two ASDA ones again. I'm just looking to see any other difference in ingredients apart from tomatoes. Well, the cheaper ones get maize starch, the Just Essentials. I don't really see anything else. Special guest from Aldi Bramwells. One thing that's baffled me is these two look to have the same bottle, but that one's got 20 grams less in it. So I'm baffled as to how they've done it. How you done it? I would need to send them to a research lab to find out, so I'll just need Right guys, I just worked it out. It's the tomatoes, the weight of the tomato ketchup, you know, because that's got more tomatoes in it, so it'll be heavier. Use trolley.co.uk to compare prices.